Welcome back to my 1,000 subscriber special, Improving and Redoing Super Megaforce, Part 2. In case you missed the previous part, I went over all of the major problems with Super Megaforce, but there was a lot to unpack, so I didn't have time to leave room for how I would eventually redo and improve Super Megaforce. But starting with this part and continuing until the final part of this series is uploaded, this will be the entirety of how I would redo and improve Super Megaforce. Now, in case you missed the previous part, I am pretending that Ghost Ager does not exist. Like, I'm assuming Ghost Ager got adapted as something completely different. For now, this is a 40-episode long, single-season adaptation of Gokaiger, and even though I'm redoing and thus improving it, I am still calling the season Super Megaforce and keeping all character names the same to avoid confusion. Enough with the chit-chat. Let's get to it. Before we get to the eventual series, let's cover the backstory of the season. It started 20 years ago. The Armada travels back in time to 1993 in order to eliminate Zordon and the original MMPR Rangers, so Power Rangers in the future won't exist, and the Armada will take over the world with nothing to stand in their way. Zordon sends a message to every Ranger team in the future and across dimensions, and teleports every Ranger to fight in a legendary war to take down the entire Armada. All the Rangers end up sacrificing all their power, which takes down the Armada. However, after the Armada is defeated, all the Rangers lose all their powers, and they are unable to morph, but all their power is formed into individual Ranger keys. Zordon uses his power to transport all the Rangers back to their proper time and dimensions with no memory of the Legendary War, and keeps all the Ranger keys in case the Armada were to ever come back. After the Legendary War, Zordon doesn't have a lot of power left, and passes down all his power to Gosei, his son from Eltar, and tells Gosei to protect the power of the Ranger keys at all cost. A few years later, an evil alien pirate sneaks into the command center. This would be Bosco if he ever got adapted. But Gosei fights him off, as Bosco is only able to get away with the 6th Ranger keys, and Bosco has his magical pet monkey curse Gosei by turning him into a giant tiki head. Then, Gosei puts himself to sleep and will wake up if the Armada were to ever return. Now, this whole backstory wouldn't be revealed all at once. Of course, now, bits and pieces of it would be revealed throughout the series. But for now, this is the entire backstory of the season to explain the stock footage of the Legendary War in Troy's flashbacks. Now that we covered the backstory, let's get to the first episode. 20 years pass, and this is where the first episode starts. And it's the first day of a new school year. Everyone starts arriving into class, and we start to meet our team of Rangers. I would make Emma less of an outdoor biking photographer or whatever the hell her personality was, and more of a perky head cheerleader type. She always butts heads with Gia because the two of them were best friends their whole lives, but when Emma joined the cheerleading team, they started spending less time together, so Emma and Gia developed a rivalry, so having them both being picked to become Rangers would bring them closer together. Jake would be the star player of the school's soccer team. Yeah, ever notice that Jake carries around a soccer ball? And there are a couple of episodes where he plays soccer, but we're never told if he plays for the school, or if he's in a youth soccer league, or anything like that. But despite being a soccer star, his teammates don't take him seriously because he hangs out with the school's signature tech geek, Noah. As for Jake's crush on Gia, he acts arrogant around her and constantly asks her why she won't go out with him, but she keeps telling him no, and she's not interested, and he refuses to take no for an answer. Back to the episode. As everybody takes their seats, the teacher walks in. "Hello, class. Welcome to a brand new school year." He walks over to the chalkboard. "My name is Mr. Cranston, but you can call me Mr. C." He turns around, and it's Billy. I wanted to do an older ranger being a mentor to the new team, just like in Dino Thunder, and it probably would have made more sense to go with a previous ranger that was a teacher, like Alyssa or Rose, but we know that they would pander to the MMPR crowd. Anyway, right before Billy can start teaching, that's when Troy walks in and says nervously, "Hi, is this Mr. Cranston's class?" "Yes, it is. Who are you?" My name is Troy Barrows. I just moved to this town. I'm a new student." "Take a seat, Troy. I was just about to start teaching." About halfway through the class, the Armada starts attacking. After hearing a giant laser blast, all the students in the class run to the windows and see a bunch of spaceships and an alien army attacking the Earth. "There's no need to panic. There's aliens invading. How can we not panic?" It turns out Billy knew this would happen. "I'll make an announcement to the principal to have the school on lockdown." Billy then points to the 5 Rangers. "You 5, come with me." The 6 of them run down the hallway. "This is not the way to the principal's office." "We're not going to the principal's office." "Then where are we going?" "You'll see." Billy then stops in front of the janitor's closet. "This is it." "How are we going to be safe in a janitor's closet?" "This isn't a janitor's closet." Billy and the Rangers go in the closet, and Billy flips a switch, causing the back of the closet to open up and reveal a staircase. "Follow me." "Wait, what's going on?" "I'll explain later." Billy leads the Rangers down the staircase into the power chamber, but it looks rusty and worn down after not being used for 20 years. Billy rushes to the console and starts pressing buttons. "Gosei! Gosei! Wake up!" Gosei starts to wake up. "Billy, what is the meaning of this?" "The Armada has returned, but luckily I brought you new Rangers. I sensed potential in them. They can help fight the Armada once and for all." "Rangers? Like Power Rangers? I thought they were just a myth." "No, they're real. Power Rangers have fought all kinds of threats, but for some reason there hasn't been a Ranger team in the last 20 years. "I'm afraid Noah is right." A giant holographic viewing screen pops up that has footage of Power Rangers teams across the years. There were Power Rangers that were from space, traveled through time, even teams from other dimensions. But the Armada was too much for even every Power Ranger at once. The screen switches to footage of the Legendary War. 20 years ago, I brought every Power Ranger from different planets, time periods, and dimensions, all in one location to fight off the Armada. But the only way to take down the Armada was for every Ranger to sacrifice all their power." The screen then turns off and it cuts to Billy. Every Ranger's power was formed into the Ranger keys. You'll see all over the power chamber. Gosei is the son of my mentor, Zordon. Gosei was once human, but he was cursed by an evil spell, and now he looks like a giant tiki head. It cuts back to the Rangers. "What does any of this have to do with us? And what did you mean when you said you saw potential in us?" It cuts to Billy, and he turns on the holographic screen. "Because before I lost my powers, I used to be a Ranger." The screen shows footage of Billy's time as a Ranger, both morphed and unmorphed fights. Noah sees this footage, and he feels inspired to be a Ranger. "Guys, I think we should take this chance. It's not every day you get the opportunity to become a hero." The others agree and walk towards the console. Billy presses a few buttons, and their morphers rise up from the consoles. These are the Legendary Morphers. I've worked on them and some of your other Ranger gear for the past 20 years. Your morphers will access the ultimate power of the morphing grid by using up every power of every Power Ranger at once. Billy then reaches into a treasure chest and takes out 5 Ranger keys. "Take these keys. You'll use them to morph, and from there you'll have unlimited access to the powers of every Power Ranger using the Legendary Ranger keys." The Rangers then run out of the power chamber and go to the scene of the attack, and they morph for the first time. Billy teleports their swords and blasters to them using the power chamber's teleportation system. Billy and Gosei are watching the fight on the power chamber's monitor. The Rangers' first fight mostly turns out the same as it did in the first episode, but then they decide to use the Legendary mode for the first time. Billy contacts the Rangers and warns them that he hasn't tested Legendary mode yet, so it could be dangerous. Naturally, being teenagers, the Rangers don't listen to Billy and try it out anyway. And naturally, their first legendary morph is into MMPR. Watching this in the command center, Billy gets all nostalgic seeing the MMPR suits in action again, and even wishes that he was still a Ranger. Back to the fight, the Rangers are forcefully demorphed from Legendary mode, as using up Legendary mode drains some of their Ranger energy, and the rest of the episode plays out mostly the same as the Rangers finish off the monster using the final wave. Yeah, I know it was called something else in Super Megaforce, but screw you, I'm calling it the final wave. And fight off the same monster in their Megazord. After the Megazord fight, it cuts back to the Rangers in the power chamber. At first they start celebrating, but Billy tells them that this is no time to be celebrating. The Armada is no joke. Your Rangers have only defeated one out of possibly dozens of monsters. As the first Ranger team after 20 years, are you willing to accept that power and responsibility? The Rangers stare at Gosei as they are willing to save the Earth as the new team of Rangers. The episode would close off with the Rangers and Billy helping the entire town with fixing up after the invasion. I would personally have the cleanup of the town take place over the course of a few episodes, instead of being over and done after one episode. And there you have it. That is the start of redoing and improving Super Megaforce. But that was just the first episode. Next time, continuing this 1,000 subscriber special, I will be coming up with some tribute episodes that they should have done, as well as redoing the tribute episodes that they actually did. Stay tuned.